y'all till y'all black. And y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a black
mayor is getting national attention for the way that she's spending taxpayer dollars. But she's now accused of spending tens of thousands of taxpayer funds on self-promoting billboards, as well as putting her name on government buildings.
Get in our public building to have meetings. Why are meetings being canceled? Why can't we have transparency what's going on with our tax dollars?
Things don't appear to be going well for Tiffany Henyard, as the trustees of Dalton are still pursuing her after she was accused of being caught. And there are rumors that the FBI has frozen her bank accounts and is about to seize her assets. She allegedly embezzled and egregiously misused money that the industrious residents of Dalton provided through their taxes, spent it on a lavish security team, erected enormous billboards, and spent thousands of dollars per day on an internet shopping binge.
The Tiffany Henyard calendar, which includes the super mayor's birthday, because you can't forget that. She could pay for all of this herself, given that her salary for the two jobs is nearly $300,000. More than the state's governor, by the way. But it's all on the taxpayer's dime. And this goes beyond signage and merch. Henyard put an ordinance in place that if she lost a future mayoral election, the next mayor's salary would be dropped from $200,000 to $25,000. But if she wins, it stays the same.
Numerous people think that the reason Tiffany Henyard was able to get away with her crimes for so long and isn't currently in jail is because some of the trustees were also complicit in the scheme and are shielding her. There are even rumors that the trustees are now pursuing her, implying that the corruption is more widespread. Tiffany has been defending herself at town meetings for weeks, but things aren't looking good for her. Dalton's trustees have been looking into her corruption for some time, and they even tried to look into it covertly by asking for her financial records, but she reportedly gave them a hard time using her power to silence people and tamper with evidence.
Stop playing these silly games, Board of Trustees, and putting people's lives in jeopardy. So I'm here to tell everybody from the horse's mouth, which I made this statement at the board, so it's nothing different. So, any questions?
Seems like an intimidation tactic. And Dalton has less than 30 police officers. But that room, I only saw two police officers, but presumably whomever was holding the camera is a police officer as well. So how many officers were in that room?
Lori Lightfoot, the former mayor of Chicago, was brought in to take over after everyone in Dalton had had enough of Tiffany Henyard's persistent attempts to thwart the inquiry into her corrupt practices and conduct a comprehensive analysis. Lori's investigative abilities and leadership abilities swiftly found a plethora of evidence that implicated Tian, and to be honest, with everything that was discovered, Tiffany ought to be facing some serious jail time, but she is still free because she has strong allies who are defending her. When Lori took over as the special investigator, the full scope of Tiffany's criminal behavior started to come to light, and it became evident that her acts were not only unlawful, but also having a major and detrimental effect on the residents of Dalton. One of Lori's most important discoveries concerned the town's general fund. At the start of the investigation, Dalton's general fund balance was $6 million, but by May of 2024, that amount had dropped to a $3.65 million loss. This shocking financial decline was just the beginning. Lori found comprehensive credit card transactions that linked to. It seems that Tiffany would go on an extravagant online shopping spree anytime she was bored. She utilized a credit card linked to Dalton's money to make significant purchases from sites like Amazon, Target, Walgreens, Wayfair, and others. Notably, one Amazon transaction on January 5, 2023, totaled an astounding $33,000, yet two more purchases were made that same day, one for $4,753.14, increasing the overall amount spent on Amazon that day to more than $33,000. In only 1 year, Tiffany also spent almost $7,000 at Wayfair, $2,200 at Best Buy, and an astounding $12,988 on international vacations. Basic theft. It is blatantly ridiculous behavior. How can someone spend money that isn't theirs so carelessly when the people who should benefit from it are barely making ends meet? While Tiffany was living in luxury, the people of Dalton were creating financial hardship But that wasn't even the worst of it. The community was shocked to learn that, as of June 18, 2024, at least 589 checks totaling more than $6 million have been authorized and printed, but never delivered to the vendors. These vendors had been waiting for payment, but Tiffany egotistically retained the money for herself, using it to finance her shopping sprees and personal luxuries like trips. To make matters worse, 2 police officers thought to be employed by Tiffany were found to have been getting overtime compensation that was far higher than their yearly wages. A cop who received $87,200 in fiscal year 2024 somehow managed to get an extra $114,800 in overtime compensation from another officer. With a salary of $73,500, received an astounding $12,238 in overtime pay in the same fiscal year. The entire issue is rife with deceit and greed. And Tiffany's actions go beyond simple financial mismanagement. They have harmed the core. Despite the overwhelming evidence against her, the community is in astonishment over the disclosures regarding her spending and misappropriation of public funds and the people she was meant to serve. It's uncertain how long Tiffany will continue to be a free woman shielded by those in authority. While protection will endure, it is certain that the residents of Dalton have had enough and that justice must be done.
Also spent tens of thousands of dollars on a week-long walk to promote her self-named cancer charity, which has yet to file required reporting. She expensed almost $15,000 for a trip to Vegas, as well as shooting music videos like this awesome one with fellow city employees.
When this information was revealed, many Dalton residents were incensed and demanded that Tiffany Henyard receive harsh punishment and that the federal government make an example of her. One of Dalton's former trustees was even interviewed by Fox News, saying, "I suspected all along that Tiffany needs to be locked up and made an example of. She cannot just go." The federal authorities are not letting Tiffany get away with misusing our money and spending it however she pleases, as if her job included a cash register. The Board of Trustees is also not giving up, and Tiffany was recently hit with 2 subpoenas, which indicates that the authorities are drawing near. In addition, the FBI is acting quickly to freeze all of Tiffany's bank accounts and seize her assets. In the second subpoena, the federal government is looking for personnel files, wage and tax documents, time and attendance records, contracts, and checks written to cash from Henyard's numerous endeavors, including a restaurant, a property management company, a charity in her name, and a political action committee. I'm looking for tangible financial records such as payroll records, budgets, and ordinances pertaining to credit card purchases, expense reports, reimbursement, security information, and vehicle use. Let me tell you, they discovered a ton of incriminating evidence. The reason the federal authorities haven't arrested Tiffany yet is because she has some influential people. In order to protect her, they want to make sure they have enough substantial and indisputable evidence before making the arrest. This also explains why she was subjected to 2 saunas. As for her accounts, the Board of Trustees recently disclosed in a meeting that they had authorized a credit card spending freeze during the federal investigation, but Tiffany had the gall to. She became irate upon learning of it and even attempted to persuade the board to lift the freeze, saying she was concerned about the suffering of the residents of Dalton. She even said, "You thought it was just a way to stop Tiffany Henyard, but it's a way to basically stop the services here in Thornton Township." Now, keep in mind that this is the same asterisk who used hardworking taxpayers' money to fund luxurious vacations, $443,000 on Amazon in one day, bribing police by paying them overtime, and spending millions on her personal security. Now, she wants us to think she cares about the people of Dalton, even though she should have considered them when she first decided to steal from them. This means she has to worry about both her personal bank account and the town's funds being locked down. Accounts are also going to be frozen because the millions of dollars that are sitting there are not hers, and Dalton will eventually get the money back. Naturally, there were many opinions about this. One person stated that her corruption had destroyed that town and that the police department needed to be disbanded and replaced when Henyard was placed beneath the jail. In addition to going to jail, she must reimburse all of the public and municipal funds that she unlawfully utilized for her own gain. Now, I'd like to know what you think about Tiffany being caught. Do you think her accounts should be frozen and her assets seized? Please share your opinions in the comments section below, and don't forget to click and watch one more really disorganized video